Hello everyone, this is Rick and welcome to Astral Club. Today's video is going to be on the topic of fear and astral projection. Whenever I talk with new astral projectors or those interested in starting to project, I inevitably have to answer questions that have fear as an explicit or implicit component. The questions vary in subject and wording, but always end up asking whether astral projection is something safe to do. Of course, I do my best to reassure them that astral projection is very safe and a natural activity. However, I always sense that there's a nagging doubt left behind in their minds on this subject. Now, there's nothing wrong with fear per se. It kept our ancestors alive and on the lookout for lions on the savannah and crocodiles lurking in the local watering hole. Fear kept humans huddled together, working cooperatively, enabling us to eventually take over the entire planet. Today, a healthy sense of fear keeps us from doing rather foolish or risky things that might damage or kill our physical bodies. Unfortunately, our modern world, with its scarcity of real physical threats, at least that in the Western world, has caused many of us to experience a low-level fear that has transformed into persistent anxiety. Numerous mental health professionals dispense hundreds of thousands of prescriptions to people suffering from such crippling low-level fear. As I said, though, fear has played a positive part in the survival of mankind, even if it plays a moderately negative part today in our waking life. In astral projection, though, fear is the ultimate enemy. Any feeling of fear will instantly end the most promising astral projection, causing the automated distress system that is the astral cord to pull the projector back into his physical shell. As I believe that talking about fear helps to dissipate its stranglehold on us, I'll discuss the times I felt fear during astral projections. First, the vibrational phase. Today, I usually bypass the vibrational state and go right to astral projection. But just last week, I experienced a strong vibrational phase for the first time in years. As I felt the bed jumping up and down, I thought it was an earthquake. Instantly, I experienced a wave of fear. The vibrational phase dissipated almost immediately. Upon awakening fully, I couldn't believe that I had wasted an astral projection opportunity due to knee-jerk fear. Next, people have reported various shadows lurking in their room when they have newly left their body. I don't pay much attention, to be honest with you, to any lurking shadows in my room when I project. I'm too busy trying to get away from my body. Some folks, though, have reported seeing all manner of scary bugaboos in and around their physical body that have scared the daylights out of them. Some have seen shadows in dark hats, some alien-looking things, others dwarves or troll types. For all the fear these figures may generate, I have yet to hear from anyone that details lasting harm to their physical self apart from a good scare. These figures could be astral entities or fear created visions by those viewing them. The newly astral projected state is a very suggestible state. You're also confronted with abilities and powers that are denied to you in the physical. And it is very possible that your fears could be made into some sort of an astral shadow that you then perceive, and it causes you to end up experiencing fear and then retreating back to your physical body. Either way, though, if they were real or not, if they could do real harm, then why haven't they done so yet? I've had well over 1,000 astral projections by now, and I don't even bother to look around my room anymore because I don't see the point. My destination is outside. The next one, possession. I've dealt with this topic previously, so I'll just touch on it here. Possession has never been a thing for astral projectors to worry about. Your physical body and soul matrix fit like a lock and key. Your soul matrix has a specific vibratory signature that is unique to you and your place in space-time. Even the time I temporarily inhabited my future physical body, I was forced out under great strain in moments. Most likely because my time-space coordinates that are part of my vibrational signature didn't match precisely the coordinates and the energy matrix of my future self. So even I could only very temporarily inhabit my own future body. So that tells you there just how impossible it would be for some alien organism to actually steal your body from you. In my experience, as long as you are healthy mentally, and by that I mean no major mental illnesses like schizophrenia. I'm not talking about you get nervous and so you take a Valium every now and again. I'm talking about major psychological problems. And as long as you're healthy physically and connected to your astral cord, you are protected. Period. The next time I recall feeling fear during my earlier astral projection experimentation was when I first discovered flying. At first, as a child, I would just run around the neighborhood because I didn't know that I could fly. Eventually, though, I figured it out. I don't recall exactly how, but when I did fly as a child, I would usually stay at treetop height. Going up too high would always trigger fear in me, and that would pull me right back into my physical body. As I grew older and more experienced, I made it to and above the clouds and eventually into space. However, lots of astral projections were wasted due to fear, which would come calling as I started experimenting with and gaining eventually my flying legs. Speed. When you will yourself to a place, controlling the speed may be a challenge for you at first. My first few attempts to go to the moon, for example, ended abruptly when I took off like a bat out of hell, streaking to the moon at blinding speed. My fear level shot way past max and drew me back to my physical body in an instant. Today, I can control my speed more comfortably. I also know that any speed is safe as long as I can contain my fear. Firewalking. Now, I've mentioned my son's story before, but I'll mention it briefly here again. As a way to test the indestructibility of my astral body and to therefore dispense with any remaining fear, I decided to fly through our sun. As I hovered in space, I looked at the sun, and you can do that in the astral, it doesn't hurt your eyes. I gathered a burst of astral speed, thinking about firewalkers, and I whizzed through this giant burning gas bag, viewing sights that I'm still trying to digest, and I wish I could describe them to you using this clumsy, limited English language, because the sights that I saw were so awesome that any words that I could conjure wouldn't approach the majesty of the sights that I saw as I flew through our sun, emerging on the other end, on the other side, without even a tan, safe and sound. Getting lost. One of the fears I hear from those who haven't projected yet is the fear of getting lost in the astral and never returning to their physical body, forever wandering about, lost in a haze, experiencing untold amounts of agony as they continue to hopelessly search for their abandoned physical body. However, experienced astral projectors can't help but laugh at this fear in a good-natured way. We know the struggle is to stay out of our bodies as long as we want to, not finding a way back. We know the astral cord is always lurking in the background, just waiting to yank us back to the physical with only a moment's notice. In fact, I began my projections into the future as a way to get around this whole astral time limit. By going into the future, I'm able to experience much more time for myself subjectively, but when I return, only no more than 10 or 20 minutes has transpired here in the present. But getting back is never a problem. And I just want to make a note. Historically, when astral projection has been described in ancient Vedic texts and other texts, they tend to have the astral cord as linked to your solar plexus. But I have noticed and I have felt that the cord, if you want to make it into some sort of a locus, seems to be connected more to the back of the head than anywhere else. If anyone else has any other substantiating information, or perhaps they disagree, I'd like you to leave that in the comments. It's just one of my little things that I try to keep in the back of my head, to try to notice the back of my head. That's funny. Okay, lastly, space, the ocean, and underground. Our physical fears tell us that environments that you experience in space, at the bottom of the ocean, and underground are hostile to us, and due to the pressures or lack thereof in the absence of breathable oxygen. Of course, an astral projector who allows his natural physical fear of these environments to rob him of visiting is missing out on some truly amazing experiences. And I also want to acknowledge here that I'm also guilty of this. I don't mind going into space, but I still have some problem with the depths of the ocean and a little bit of claustrophobia when it concerns the going underground. These are fears I'm still working on, but I can assure you your astral body is not actually affected by these environments negatively. You can do so whenever you want to. You can visit them. Now, anyone who wants to begin astral projecting has to educate himself or herself and learn to master their fear. However, once you've conquered your fear, the universe awaits your exploration. Well, that's fear and astral projection. Next week, I think I'm going to have an interesting video. I've run across some documents on the CIA website that have been declassified, talking about the astral projection, remote viewing experiments that were done by the military. I was aware of much of this information, but I didn't feel free to necessarily discuss it because I thought it was still classified. However, now that it is no longer classified, I have read through this 90-some page released report with very few redactions, which is great. Many times when you look at these CIA declassified documents, especially the ones that involving aliens, there's all kinds of redactions. You'll have a long page and it'll be nothing but black, and then it'll be 2 words, the craft. But this one has very few redactions. So stay tuned for next week, where we'll talk about the CIA and government and military experiments with astral projection and intelligence gathering. If you like this video, please hit the like button, share it with those of like minds. Subscribe if you haven't already. My goodness, it's free. What's wrong with hitting the old free subscribe button? And hit that bell too. If you have any questions or comments, I love reading them and replying to them. So please do so. You guys leave some excellent, intelligent comments and questions. So I always look forward to reading them. I am Rick, and as always, I will see you on the astral plane.